But I was about to get into the question session, and Aisha, you wanted to jump into the symptoms really quick before we get there? Yeah.
To bring in another aspect that we haven't really talked about, a lot of people these days engage in social media a lot, and we are very active and we spend a lot of our time there. So one of the symptoms can be noticing that somebody on social media has changed the way their language, the way they're speaking, and so that can be a symptom, and you can notice that this person doesn't normally talk like this. Why is are they talking like this? And it's usually a very big dump of information at a very fast rate. So just just saying things. So that can be a way to check for the symptoms. And then also when you talked about high functioning people, I used to be a high functioning person, but then at some point you just crash. You're unable to sustain that energy that you need to pretend that you're okay or that you're able to handle everything. So that's also another way that you can know that somebody was very high functioning, but suddenly they can't leave the house. They keep canceling plans and they seem flaky, constantly canceling plans, but then it could be that now they're unable to put out that energy that they were putting out before to show that they're okay and everything is fine.
And you've also been keeping tab on how it manifests in women. What have you seen?
Yes, I feel like there are different ways that women experience, especially mental health illnesses, because as much as we are told that we are able to express our emotions, we are able to cry, but then it's after you're done with your crying and expressing, chin up, move on. So you're not allowed to take a break. The break is just to, and then, continue with whatever you're doing. So women are not allowed to show weakness. We are strong. Women are strong. You have to be a strong woman. You carry the family, you carry the community, you carry, wherever you are. So you constantly have to be on it so that nothing falls apart. But then what happens is you don't get a chance to rest. You're not given a chance to, be fragile and need care and need to be taken care of, because you're the one who's taking care of everybody else. So that's how it really manifests to a lot of women.
All right. Questions? Let's take 3 questions real quick. Yes. Very fast.
Okay, my name is Matthew Rotich. Okay, from the survey that Trevor has just talked about, is that Kenya, we are ranked about 6th in the number of people suffering from depression. Okay, so my question is, what is the government doing to make sure, or the health organizations doing to make sure that this number reduces in the coming years?
Okay.
Dr.
Mutisya will help us handle that. Another question.
Okay, I'm Paul Mutwa, and my question is a general one. What is it that can be done to help those victims who are suffering from depression due to issues like poverty? Like, for example, if a student is done with maybe primary school or high school and they're not able to get the adequate amount of money to join the next level of the education, what is it that can be done to reduce the level of depression which is caused by lack of adequate capital?
All right, next question. Go.
My name is James Wanjiro. My question is, how can we, the people who don't have financial capacity, how can they be helped because they cannot pay the facilities that are there, or the facilities that have been told today? Are there facilities that one can go in and be assisted without financial constraints?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. My name is Kennedy Omolo from Catholic University. As far as the statistics we are getting concerning the suicidal attempts and deaths among the youth is very high in Kenya. I would like to know if maybe there is any layers between the government and other independent institutions on how to suppress this kind of problem in our societies.
All right. Next question. There's another one over there.
My name is Kevin, and my question is, how do you determine depression is causing illness or illness is causing depression? Thank you.
All right, that's a very philosophical question. Fine.
My name is Isaka, and among youths, sometimes we tend to believe that everybody hates us, even if the only people is our family members. When you talk about depression, you're talking about low self-esteem. We are talking about things like changes in the changes in our neural circuit activities. So is depression a condition or a disease, And
Okay.
then maybe in relation to matters arising,
All right.
can we also say that maybe even our MPs, maybe unlike Babu Wina, are making decisions courtesy of depression?
All right. Thanks. All right. Dr. Mutisya, I'll start with you. There are several questions. Government intervention. There's another one about how do you deal with a case of poverty. And there's also another one where the government liaises with the private sector. And I'll also come to Mweni for that as well.
Yeah, maybe the approach I would like to take is probably what I would like to see the governments, both the county and the national, do.
Yeah.
We know that many of the time when we talk about mental health, people quickly look at mental illnesses. I would like a situation where we improve resilience in school-going children and college and adolescents, to teach them life skills and to help them be able to stop and listen to how they feel. Many of us are not able to stop and listen to how they feel. They keep moving, and before you know it, you realize you're not sleeping. You don't want to get along with, to go out with friends. You don't want to watch your favorite game. So I would like to see a situation where we promote good mental health, because we know if people have good mental health, they will be able to cope with any adversities. Pick up whenever they have an adversity. They'll be able to relate well with other people, and they will be able to contribute towards the society.
Okay.
I know the counties are now healthcare is devolved, and each county needs to realize that every day we are reading stories of somebody has committed suicide somewhere. People are surprised that children can commit suicide, can get depressed, and it's a wake-up call that if we want our counties to develop, if you are depressed, you won't contribute to the economy. You can't alleviate poverty. You can't be a breadwinner when you're depressed. So we need to invest in mental health. We need more psychologists in the healthcare system, so that we prevent and we promote good mental health. And for those who need treatment, it needs to be accessible. We've talked of several places where people have to pay for it. I know when you walk to a government hospital, eventually you'll get treatment, but it might take. A study was done and it showed that many people waiting at outpatient, 40% of them have a mental health condition, and only about 20% will be picked. And we encourage people to seek help wherever they can get it, and we encourage county governments, each county, to see how they can improve mental health.
But most of
for
it
the
is
national
at a fee.
government,
Most of it is at a fee. There's nowhere where you can get it for free.
yes, but now with universal healthcare, it's being incorporated. Mental health is being incorporated.
Okay.
So we need to keep talking about it, and we thank citizens for taking this opportunity. I hope that a policymaker somewhere will take it seriously and make sure that they incorporate it in their plans.
Just to add,
Eddie.
To add some on that, I think depression is one of the best documented problems. Unfortunately, we're not having enough conversations about it. We're not having enough of these town halls. And one of the ways I think I agree with you is it's actually wanting to see what the government, both at the national and county government, doing is promoting, creating awareness. And with all this information that we have, to be able to give it to the public in a way that it'll initiate conversations, change the messaging in a way that it will touch, especially understanding what somebody who's going through depression looks like. Because we sit by the roadside as depression is taking away so many lives, and many people are passing through it as we watch. Every day, I think every week now, we get all these headlines coming through. Yesterday I saw a 2-year-old, 8-year-old, a standard 2 kid who took his own life. That's so hard to understand. And there are very many underlying issues that, if it's addressed by creating outreach programs all the way to the grassroots level, it'll start creating a conversation and a narrative that will just go all the way up. Because the moment we start talking about this, the moment we understand better these problems, what depression is all about, the more we'll start talking about it. And I believe on the aspect of just talking about it amongst ourselves and creating such platforms.
All right, Mercy, I'd like to hear your perspective on what he asked, that how do you deal with someone who's undergoing depression because of something like poverty? They're done with their school, they can't go to the next level. The only solution is to get school fees. And then the other biggest issue is how to deal with the relapse. You're dealing with the depression. At some point you're okay, at some point you're not okay. How do you deal with it? Very briefly.
Okay. First and foremost, you have to realize that poverty and mental health, they are intertwined. It's like the head and the chicken, the egg and the chicken issue. You cannot sometimes tell which one is causing which, because if you are of poor mental health, then you are not able to go out there and pursue your dreams, and that in its own, it can cause poverty. Again, this poverty, because you are overthinking too much about your situation, about where you are, it can cause depression, which is part of mental health. Okay? And so what needs to be done to those people in those areas, especially those who are from less privileged homes, it is for them to get a lot of training, for people to help them think outside the box, that you can start even a small scale business with as little as 20 shillings. You start with njugu, tomorrow you sell 2 packets. All right, and then they stop pity-patting themselves. So the end of the world. As long as you have your 2 legs, your eyes, and your brain, and your hands, you can go out there and do something. Now, about the relapse, what really causes the relapse, first and foremost, is when the treatment plan is not well followed. Majority of Kenyans will take their loved ones who are mentally ill, depression, alcoholism, direct to the rehab centers. And that is not the solution, because you've taken that person all of a sudden from the environment where they are used to, from drinking 2 crates of beer, into a place where there is no alcohol. They are not even willing. You take them there to cover your faces for your own self-image. When they come back, they were not willing. So if we correct the treatment pathway, which begins with the therapy together with medication, and then of course a lot of family support, psychosocial support system, this person, we will reduce the cases of relapses.
And generally, how much does it cost for a viewer who's listening right now and they're wondering, I need the help, how much will it cost me?
You do not have to be an inpatient to get mental health treatment. You can be an outpatient. And I want to answer one question which I think was very critical. Where can you get that help for free? Is there any place in Kenya where we can get mental health treatment for free? Yes, there is a place. And I'll give you that place very, very clearly. It's called Kamili Mental Health Organization. And the main office is in Lower Kabete, just next to the Kenya School of Government, where there is the Lower Kabete dispensary. That is where they are housed. You will find them there every Thursday, and there will be a qualified psychiatrist to see you for free. But you have to be from a less privileged family or background. That same clinic, it operates also in Gashie every Friday. Gashie level 5 hospital or something like that. I don't know about the level very well, but there is an hospital in Gashie. You will find Kamili organization there. It's an NGO, and they will treat you for free. You will get counseling for free. Then on every Wednesday, they run another clinic in Kangemi. You can go there. You'll get the same services. So Wednesday, Kangemi; Thursday, Lower Kabete; Friday, Gashie. You have no reason to say you didn't have a place to go for your treatment. What about counseling? Yes, they will give you medicine. You'll see a specialist, a psychiatrist, and you'll see a counselor for free. But if you need to talk to somebody even on phone, like right now, you are at home and you feel you're not going to sleep, or you are thinking, I'm going to kill myself this night, please don't. Take your phone and look for that number for NPC, Nairobi Pentecostal Church, Valley Road, and any other NPC church. They offer free counseling services online, and you can walk into their church, into their offices anytime, and you'll be able to access free counseling. And if you can afford, then go and promote Daktari Pale and also come and promote me. But if again you cannot, feel free to call me. Feel free to come. I'll give you a free session, and then I refer you to the right place.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you very much for that offer. Meshak Maina, I just want to hear your comments on this really quick. You're a volunteer with the people who are dealing with such things in the slum areas. What is your experience like? Do they know where they can get their help?
Good evening. My name is Meshak Samson Maina. I am a former victim of depression, but I believe I'm still going through the healing process. I have had 3 phases of being suicidal, but thank God I didn't die. What I have been doing is trying to rescue people who actually write suicidal notes online. I have realized that there are 2 types of suicidal notes. There is one that people write, and it is usually on a piece of paper collected next to the body when the person is dead. But there's another suicidal note that people write online, which is not actually a goodbye message. It looks like a goodbye message, but in reality it is a coded message. Somebody is trying to tell you, I need help, and this is my last call for help. It is either you come right now, find me alive and help me, or you come later and find me dead. That is where I got the disconnect between the physical paper and the online, whereby it is a public platform. Somebody is writing and they are sure somebody is going to see it. So I've been pursuing that. Every time I see something like that, I have called Kenyans online through my social media platforms. I've told them, if you see anything looking like this, you just tag me or get a screenshot. You can send it to my phone on WhatsApp or send it to wherever platform you know you can access me, and I'm going to follow up.
So how do they access you in case somebody notices such a thing? What's your page?
My Facebook name is Meshak Samson Maina, and there is no other name looking like that. So if you just type Meshak Samson Maina, you see my profile and a page. I also have a page.
All right, thanks, Meshak. All right, Catherine Njeri, I want to hear your views on this as well as we wind up. You've written a book on this. What are the most interesting things you found out that we haven't mentioned here? Very briefly, please stand.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Catherine, and mine is coming on a marriage basis. Getting married at a tender age, going through rejection, and again getting married into an abusive partner. And then when you think that this is the right place that you are, this person throws you out, and you don't have a home, you don't have anyone to call, you don't have a relative that you can turn to. You're all alone in that wilderness. You don't know where to start. And then you find yourself that you're in that cocoon. You don't know how to get out of that cocoon. And it happened to me. I tried suicide more than 3 times. It didn't work. I was bitter with myself. And the first thing I realized is that I wanted to be alone. I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to see light. I don't even want to shower. That is now when the alarming signs started. And I didn't even want to see my daughter. I felt this is the reason why I'm going through this. And it happened that it was so severe. And I realized that most of the people, even in marriage, I've not heard you guys talk about depression in marriage, and it is real in marriage. Partners are going through depression in their homes, in the places they're supposed to be. They have fear. They don't know who to turn to. They're afraid of getting out because they'll be labeled by the society as failures. They're afraid, and especially women, they're afraid of getting that name, the single mothers. And they don't know where to turn to. They're afraid of starting again. And you find that when I realized that it is not me alone, I thank God I went to a money counseling center. I found help. But I believe it's not everyone who is going to get help. Okay. And I was not afraid. That is why I came to a point of writing a book. It's an interesting book. It's all about my life. It has a funny name, if I'll say that. Yeah. It's Shackles in the Cage. Because I realized that in that cage of marriage, I had shackles that tied me along, that I was not able to entangle myself. Okay. What I would like to tell everyone, even in marriage, I do a lot of counseling in marriages. I would like to tell someone, don't stay in a circumstantial marriage. I stayed in one. I rejected myself, having no formal education, coming from a family that I realized I was rejected. I stayed in that cocoon all alone. I was bitter. I hated myself, and my husband used to tell me some very nasty things, and he used to call me names. And I thought, okay, he says that I'm not beautiful, so I'm not beautiful. And I rejected myself too. It was ugly, but I want to tell people there is hope. I want to tell everyone who is there, you can always talk to someone. There is hope in God. There is hope. Talk to someone. Don't die in that situation alone.
Thank you so much,
Talk
Catherine.
to someone.
All right.
Thank you so much.
And that's where we have to leave it tonight. This is the Monday Report, the town hall session live from Prestige Plaza, Long Gong Road. We were talking about the burden of depression, and like Eddie said, we'll talk about this again. This is not enough. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for making time. And remember, if you're out there, be your brother's keeper, will you? If you notice anything strange, speak up. I'm Trevor Mbija. Always a pleasure having you with us. Good night for now.